I decided to play Grounded today. Grounded is a fun little survival game where you're trying to get better armor and better weapons and tools. And to start it off, I decided to pick up 347 rocks. After looking at the mass pile that I have created of rocks, I decided, you know what else is there to do? And so I set off. This led me to punching stuff. And I punched that. I even punched this aphid. Ooh, messy. And I punched, and I punched, and then I punched again. My adventures led me to something I was not prepared for. Oh, that's an anthill, all right. And yeah, it's about to go down for real. I thought that the best thing to do, obviously, was to go down in it with no tools, no weapons, no armor. I just went right in. And then I saw how dark it was, and so I retreated back home. As I was going back home, a thought passed my mind. Whose fault was it? Was it my fault for going down there with no weapons? Or was it the ants' fault for making it so dark in there? I came to the conclusion that it was the ants' fault, and so I took my frustration out on them. I found one, decided to punch it, and man, oddly enough, he did not like that. It took a lot of concentration with my fists, and I was able to defeat him. But then backup arrived. And I was able to barely beat them as well. And I felt pretty confident, so I decided to go get one more maybe. That's when things didn't go too well. And yeah, I died. Lucky for me, I didn't die too far, so I was able to get my stuff pretty quickly. And I saw the ant there, and it doesn't look like he was hostile anymore, which was a good thing. But I wasn't done with the ants just yet. Look at this. I had everything to make a pebble spear. And so I did exactly that. With pebble spear in hand, I had to go and at least test it on a few ants. But in the first place, I had to kill a bunch of gnats. They were constantly pestering me, so... Lucky for me, I'm a precision shot and didn't miss once. Well, I spent most of the day actually looking for ants, unable to find them. And I thought, you know what? That's it. We're going back to the anthill, and boy was I ready. Spending a whole day not able to find your nemesis at this point really made me mad. So I went home. I made everything I needed. Look at that. A torch.
By the power of Helion, champion of the sun!
Now, torch in one hand, spear in another, I charged right in there, ready to take on anything that stepped in my way. Those little ants could not stop me. It takes a good man to forgive the wrongs that have been done to them, to forgive their enemies and to turn the other cheek. But here's the thing, I'm not a good man.
Let there be light!
And I didn't forget the wrong that was done to me. So I charged headfirst going in, not knowing what to expect other than the small ants. But man, was I wrong. How could I be so foolish in the bloodlust in my eyes to realize that there are bigger ants down here? Soldier ants are what they are called, and boy do they have big mandibles, those giant jaws ready to grip me and to tear me in half. So I set off to make sure that that didn't happen, blocking, attacking, dodging the best I could, and our battle ensued, and I was able to dispatch the first one. The second one put up an even bigger fight than the first. My health dangerously low, no bandages to protect me, not even armor upon my own hide, and I didn't know what I was thinking, but I didn't care at this point. All I wanted was revenge. And unfortunately, I died. I had a choice to make. Do I sleep for the night, potentially lose my stuff? Do I gear up and allow myself to cool off? No. No, I wasn't gonna do that. So I did what anyone would do. I ran straight back in, didn't care that it was getting dark. I picked up one rock and I knew what I had to do. I had to go in there, take my stuff back, and run home. This was gonna be a big endeavor. But I was up for the take, because I wanted my stuff back. I completely forgot how hard it was to see. It was so dark in here, I had trouble getting down into the deep caves because I had a torch when I did it. And there he was, Victor over my dead body, watching my stuff intently, and so I knew at that very moment, I could not fight him. I collected my stuff, alerting the soldier ant right behind me. I didn't hesitate, nor did I look back to even see if I was being chased. I knew I had to get out of there before anything else worse happened. When you die, your armor doesn't automatically equip. I'd have to do that while in combat. It wasn't gonna happen, especially not in the dark. I went home, feeling defeated. I slept for the night. Figured that in the morning, I'd start collecting resources. And I decided, you know what? Let's make some armor. And to make matters worse, as if the very anthill was mocking me, there was an ant inside my house. My personal space was invaded, and they were laughing at me. I could feel my blood boiling. I did not want this. I thought that I could leave it there, but unfortunately it looks like the ants wanted to turn that battle into a full-fledged war. I did what I had to do. I collected my armor. I made an extra spear. I made an extra torch, and I was going back, and I was gonna take as many ants with me as I possibly could. It was on. Once again, I found myself, now with armor, at the mouth of the beast, ready to go down into the belly. I didn't know what to expect because I didn't get very far the first time. But this second time around, I was going back, and I was going back to stay. They posted a guard ant right in the tunnel as soon as you got in, and I dispatched them quickly. I moved down into the deeper caverns, and I found one stuck, and I took full advantage of that stuck ant, thrusting my spear into its side, and with my last attack, hurled my spear right in between him, and he was down for the count. That made 2. The deeper I went, the weirder it got. Some of these smaller tunnels turned into mass rooms. I kept finding ants that were getting stuck in weird positions, and I didn't want to attack them in fear that I too would get stuck down here. I went around the corner, and there, another soldier ant met me. We battled, but I was the one that was victorious this time. That made 3. I thought that maybe that ant that was stuck, after defeating the other soldier ant, would be easy pickings. I threw my spear right at them, and that is when things got even weirder. It seemed as if the ant was now clipping even further into the ground. As I started to fall back, it lunged right out of the ground, unleashing a pretty heavy blow right to center torso. I didn't even bother blocking it because I didn't know the attack was coming. I wasn't gonna go down without a fight. Perfect block. I negated all that damage, but unfortunately, I wasn't quick enough, and a second even faster attack hit me. I died. Again. I was furious. But I wasn't mad at the ants. I wasn't mad that I felt like maybe there was a cheap shot in there. That the fact that the ant was underground and it was able to attack me? No. I was mad at myself. How could I have gone, not once, but twice, and died? Why did I let my anger for these ants rule what I did? And so instead of crafting, building, or even creating anything, I spent my entire time trying to fight something I was ill prepared for. So I geared up once more. I grabbed a torch, I grabbed a broken spear, and it became a rescue mission. I was simply gonna go in, run past every ant that I could, grab my stuff, and return home. And maybe change courses, obviously, because right now I am just not prepared. Maybe better armor, maybe a better tool, or somehow maybe I could just let this go and just let the ants do their thing while I do mine. But a lot of that clarity left as soon as I went down, grabbed my stuff, and I saw 2 soldier ants right where I killed the other 2. I sat there, fighting within myself, saying, do I attack? Or do I just go back home, like I was thinking? Too late. One of the soldier ants immediately found me and attacked me. I had to defend myself at this point. I was able to kill that ant pretty effortlessly. And then I decided to attack myself. What's the saying? An eye for an eye or something? Yeah. Well, I made sure these ants knew that if they attacked me, I wasn't gonna roll over. I charged, throwing my spear right into that other soldier ant. I did everything I could to make sure I wasn't gonna go down. Not this time. Not again. I was able to dispatch the ant and decided that that was enough. Now is the time, if anything, to just go home and let things cool off. And that's exactly what I did. I took care of some stuff around the house, gathered some resources, I researched some things, and then I saw it. An ant club. Look at the damage on that. I had to make one. And then, one of the better things I could have found. Ant armor. Armor made from our enemies, clad upon myself for protection, and it would be a symbol that I am not one to be messed with. And I made rubber, which I've never made before. This unlocks something really cool. A trampoline. It was recreational. It was fun. It helped distract me from the encounter that I just had. And after that, a little more inventory management. And that was the first few days. But this story definitely will continue. Don't think I'm just going to forget about these ants. But right now, let's focus on some other things.